Happy Monday, everyone.
Happy Monday. Welcome to the Monday Duo podcast. I hope you have a chance to listen to Dr. Lam's traditional Chinese medicine episode last week.
Yes, because today I will continue the topic of Yin Yang, something ancient and something very modern at the same time. How this simple idea can completely change the way we look at diet, training, and emotions, especially for women through our hormones change every month.
See, do you share Yin Yang diet approach to your clients?
Yeah, as a nutritionist, especially growing up in the West, but also I'm surrounded by TCM with my family. I often look at somebody's health, their needs, cultural background, and also seasonal changes to recommend a balanced diet that suits their body's current state. So if they are more open to a more Western way of diet, I would suggest that. But if they're more open for a Western way of diet, I will also tailor to that too.
So can't wait to learn more on what to eat to support our cycles. And we learned from Dr. Lam that in Chinese traditional medicine and in Chinese philosophy, yin and yang are two sides of one whole.
Yeah, so if you've seen the symbol of yin yang, which is half white, half black, and it comes as a circle. So yin, it's more cool, quiet, slow, inwards, and restful, whereas yang is more energy, warm, bright, fast, and active. But it's not one is better than the other. We need both to be
Both to
balanced.
be balanced. Yeah, both
Correct.
to be
Yeah.
balanced.
So yes, you can see yin yang everywhere. For example, in daytime is more yang, nighttime is yin. Summertime has more yang energy, whereas in the winter is more yin. Your busy work day is yang energy, and while you're in deep sleep is yin. Also, when you go for a high intensity workout, that's your yang energy, whereas a gentle yoga session could be yin. So the key point here is being in the right rhythm between yin and yang and strike a balance between two and not just stuck in one energy forever.
Yeah, I think like I never think about things like that. Everything is yin and yang, even like as you said, busy work day or just more deep sleep is different energies. Like I never thought about that. But what are the signs if someone is stuck in one side?
Yeah, I think if you are constantly in, for example, in yang, so you're always stimulated, you always caffeinated, you are training hard all the time, always pushing. I'm sure some of you will resonate that. Um, so your yin energy get neglected. So perhaps you might not have enough sleep, you might not have gentle movement, not enough deep rest as well. On the other hand, when yin runs low, you feel tired, anxious, a bit dry, irritable, and easily overwhelmed. So when we talked about cycles and hormones later, you can keep this in mind, especially for women's body. We are naturally going from one phase to another. So it's always constant yin, constant yang, going into different flow. We are designed to move between these two and not stay in one state at all time. So like Magda, you mentioned before, sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad, sometimes we're tired, and
Yeah.
sometimes we're energized.
It's so nice to have this gentle reminder that we can be on both sides of energy. It's not always a one side. And as we
Mhm.
said, the yin and yang is in balance. So we need both sides in us. And
Yes.
let's walk through a typical four-phase cycle and look where yin and yang shows up. I know that this is a general pattern and everyone is unique.
Yeah, especially if you're on contraception, having irregular cycles, or in perimenopause. To begin with, in menstrual cycle, when you're bleeding, your body is in more yin phase. So typically your energy often dips. You feel tired, less energy, you feel more inward and sensitive as well. I'm sure you feel the same.
Yeah, like every month of the cycle is the
Yeah.
same. How's the diet look like to support this? I'm really
Yeah,
curious of that. I will use that like advice that you will share right now because I
yeah.
think that was one of the first question I asked you when we met in Bali and you said that you are a nutritionist and I asked you how I can support my cycles and my moods through our eating and what should I eat, and you said like, oh, it's a long topic and you try to share some tips, so I'm happy that we are recording this episode.
Yes.
I can always look back on that. So what are the diet looks like to support this part of the cycle?
Exactly. To support your body, to support your hormone change, your emotional support as well. So during menstruation, you can opt into food more iron rich and blood supported foods. So beef or lamb or liver are great source of heme iron, so they can support your blood. Leafy greens as well. B12 in eggs or fish or seafood that also give support in that. And also when you opt into vitamin C food, it helps to enhance the iron absorption as well. So I would say also opt into things that are warm, cooked meals instead of a cold salad, fresh off from the fridge, for example. And during menstruation, I'm sure maybe some of us have PMS symptom. So food like dark chocolate, nuts or seeds have magnesium, and magnesium helps to ease PMS symptoms. But the most important is to keep hydration as well. Like I said, I would suggest avoiding a lot of cold or iced food because they will make your cramps or your bloating worse. So you could try that next time.
For movement, I believe stretching, gentle yoga might be nice in that
Yeah,
phase.
correct. Because this is the phase for rebuilding. So do give yourself permission to rest more, say gentle stretching, go for a walk, or low intensity stretch if you feel okay.
I feel like we need to give ourselves an emotional space too, because
Yeah.
it's a hard time for us.
At the beginning, yes, that's true. You would feel tired, so allow yourself earlier nights or perhaps, just less social obligations, perhaps during the first few days.
Yeah, sitting in the night with the cozy blanket, with the dark chocolate, with nuts to support our system.
Oh,
We
yes,
need
that
to
is
do
true.
this chocolate that we were talking about, chocolate with nuts and with
Dark chocolate with nuts,
blueberries,
yes.
like the best recipe for, help ourselves
With the
to be
mood.
in a better mood. Yeah. We need
Yes.
to do that on our Instagram. Let's make a promise that we will do that. So now let's move to the phase that we are facing after a period.
Yes. So after your few days of period, your yin energy start to turn into yang energy. Your hormones start to rise again. So many of us will feel a bit lighter, more clearer, but more active, more sociable. So this is the sign when yin is transforming into yang.
It's a great time to increase training, I think.
Yeah.
I always intense training after the my period's gone. So trying new classes, building new habits.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, when you feel like your energy is back, definitely you could go into a bit more exercise, perhaps not so intense at the beginning. But gently you can start your yoga classes, you can start your jogging or running as well. Now,
What to
at this
eat?
stage,
What
yes,
to
at
eat?
this stage, because now you start to pick up more energy, so you should start to opt into food that supports your energy level and support your hormonal balance as well. So I would say protein-rich foods to provide essential amino acids for tissue repair, for energy. For example, lean meat like turkey or chicken. And because that you've slowly picking up your exercise, right? So you need sustained energy. So your whole grains like quinoa, your brown rice, your oats. Also, because your hormone change, you want to regulate your moods and hormonal balance. So some B vitamins, especially B6, will help to regulate mood and hormonal balance too. Because you've obviously lost some blood, so adequate iron intake is needed as well. So spinach, red meats, and legumes to help replenish level after menstruation.
Right now, I know what I'm craving meat after my my
Yes,
period.
that's true. Your body
Like,
is also giving you signal, right? After that, you feel more craving.
yeah,
You
I'm
have more
almost
energy.
quit eating meat through the whole month, but whenever I finish my period, I'm just like craving for like meat for us. Right now, I
Yeah.
understand why. Now let's move to ovulation phase. That's the next
Yeah.
phase we are facing.
True. So around ovulation, your estrogen is high. For many of us, your energy and your confidence peak during this time. So you feel sociable, you feel expressive, or sometimes even flirty. So that's very yang energy. So next time when you're being flirty, it's probably not about that guy. It's probably just your hormone talking,
You
honestly.
need to wait the whole cycle how to feel
For
about this
this
guy.
time. Yeah.
So this phase is more like the vibe of heavier exercise like Ashtanga yoga, maybe some lifts, interval training, social workouts, like
Yeah.
a lot of interactions.
Yeah, so if you feel this is right time for you, again, listen to your body. But in terms of your hormone, this is a good time for more exercise, more intense exercise. Your energy should be there. So for food wise, to support your energy levels, your hormone change, and reproductive health as well. So quite similar to the phase before. A lot of protein and fiber to stabilize blood sugar, perhaps slightly more protein as you are going into more exercise, lifting heavier weights, right? So to replenish that protein and more healthy carbohydrates as well. And hydration, that's definitely important. And to support ovulation and reproductive health, zinc, folate, or omega-3 also helps to support healthy cell division and fertility, if this is something that you're thinking about.
Last into is luteal phase. Let's talk
Yes,
about this
so
phase.
exactly. So this is when your yang energy start to go back to yin. After ovulation, your progesterone rises, and if pregnancy does not happen, the hormones begin to fall. So energy will start to dip again. So you'll start to feel a bit more sensitive, sometimes a bit more irritated as well at this phase.
Yes, that's the worst phase for me if I can pick one. That is the worst feeling for me is when my energy is going down. I feel
Mm.
like I lose my sense of humor, I lose, my bubble energy, and I always like try to be of course more into myself, but I hate when my energy level drops down so quickly. It's a moment when I always have some plans, to go out with people, to see my friends and my family, and I always forget that this phase is happening and I need to cancel everything, which is because I want to sit with myself only. So
Yeah.
how to in this phase we should exercise, what we should eat. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, I think what you mentioned is that now you're aware as a woman, our hormones keep changing, our moods keep changing. So now that you know which phase will have more yin, which phase you will have more yang, it's okay to accept that. So if you feel tired, like you said, maybe just cancel some plans. When you feel more active, you go back to your routine. So it's okay to accept this, and we learn it as we go as well. So like I said, this is the phase where yang start to go back to yin. So this is why you feel a bit less social, maybe a bit more tired as well. So in terms of exercise, you could go for more calming practices, go for a walk, Pilates or gentle yoga as well. Now, in terms of food wise, is always to support your emotional symptoms. Like you said, you have mood swings, right? You feel a bit sad, but for no reason. So you try to stable your blood sugar. It becomes key. I would say protein, fiber, healthy fats, these are the most essential option you could try. Regular meals as well, and to opt for food that reduce PMS, anxiety, and craving, which I've discussed before too.
I think I'm more into yang energy. I'm trying to get good moods about yin energy too, and I'm trying to get friendly with that. But
Yeah.
as a takeaway of this podcast is, and this episode of our podcast is to not expect yourself to be in your yang energy every day.
Yeah. And or even to be expected yourself to be peak, or even not to expect yourself to be yang every day or yin every day. So it's okay to ask yourself, where am I in my cycle? Do I need more yin or do I need more yang right now? And if I want more rest, then just go for a short walk or go for a rest.
I think we need to record our podcast whenever we are on our yang energy,
Yeah,
just to have like a lot of
yeah,
energy for
otherwise,
our audience.
that's true. That's true. We need to time it.
We need to time it. Like, we need to think about it. Right now, I have this idea in my mind.
Yeah.
Now, let's switch the topic and talk about something far away from me, I think perimenopause, as it usually comes in mid 40s. But you give me the article and I read about it that it might comes before that, even earlier.
Yeah. So there was an article on the National Institutions of Health that talks about insights into perimenopause. Now, generally, the report says the average age is 45 to 50. So it starts after your mid 40s. But a majority of the respondents selected the age when they feel like they start perimenopause is from mid 30s already, so 35 to early
Wow.
40s, which is significantly younger than generally reported. Um, I'm afraid we are not too far away from this.
Yes.
Um, so what is perimenopause? It marks the transitional phase leading up to menopause, right? So this time your hormonal fluctuations occur, leading to changes in your menstrual cycles, and various physical and emotional symptoms will happen as well. And this phase can unfortunately last for many, many years.
Seems like a topic C that we need to split into another episode. A lot of information, I think.
Yeah, I think I'll just talk about the basics here because some of
Yes.
our audience might already start to have some symptoms. And because a lot of the mistakes my client makes is to respond this with a wrong approach. So basically, I mean, if we're going back to the yin yang language, this is the phase where it's a fluctuating yang,
Mhm.
so more hot flushes, maybe insomnia, you feeling a bit irritable, anxiety and sudden energy spikes as well. Like sometimes you're super sad, sometimes you're super happy. And at the same time, it's declining yin. So a bit more dryness everywhere on your skin, on your eye, even vaginal dryness. You have poor sleep. You feel just depleted more easily. So, like I said, many of my client makes a mistake, and to respond to this phase with even more yang. So they feel like I'm so tired, so I want more coffee. I need to do more high intensity training, more pushing, right? But in
Mhm.
fact, this is a phase where it's an invitation to rebuild your yin inside you. So, for example, make sleep as your medicine is a non-negotiable hormone supplement for you. You need to guard your sleep and also work on your nervous system care, like your breath work, slower evenings, work on your calming rituals as well. In
And
terms of food,
food.
I would say,
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't go into details, but really regular and balanced meals to keep your blood sugar steady. This is the key phase to protect your muscles. So you need to have enough protein. And if you're feeling a bit depleted or anxiety, I would say warm, nourishing food definitely is key. And keep hydrating for sure.
So in terms of movement, could be a heavy workout, but it's all about consistency here.
So I would say you need to keep both the strength training because at this point you need to protect your bones and your muscle, right? But also pair it with yin. For example, stretching, your restorative practice, gentle yoga, or you go to Pilates, you go for a walk. But of course, to make sure that you have real rest days. So Magda, like you said at the beginning of the episode, you might not think about yin yang can incorporate into diet, our training, due to our hormone change. What is one thing that you feel like, now you know, and you can incorporate that in your life?
Only one thing, see, come on. Like, first of all, I was so surprised that we can find yin and yang in almost everything that surrounds us in our everyday life, in our everyday choices. That was the first thing that surprised me, in, of course, in the positive way. Right now, I will try to think about it more. But the takeaway I have here, the most and the most important for me, is that whenever I feel like the energy is changing from yang to yin, which is the harder part for me. I know that somebody might like when the energy is changing from yang to yin, but I that's the change I may not like so much. That's I'm okay with that. I try to be okay with that for a long time, try to feel my rhythm, try to feel what I'm feeling, what I will love to have this day or what I want to avoid in this phase or in this day, especially. But after this episode, I'm much more confident about that I'm going into the right steps, follow the right path. And I'm so happy that right now you share the food related to each phase. I will make notes in the post production, so I will put it on my fridge and I can see what I can eat in different phase. That's so
That's a
nice.
good idea that you mentioned. You could also put that and then stick on your fridge. So every time, then you can take it as a reference when you look
If
at
it's
it.
on your fridge, your partner, your husband might see what you are eating. He will know what in which phase are you.
But that's good. But
Yeah.
that's great because obviously this is also our point of our episode. It's not only just for our female listener, it's also for our male audience as well, right? So once you know your partners, your girlfriends, um, hormonal cycle, which phase they're in, then you know how to support them in the right way when you do the grocery shoppings, maybe, right? You know what are the foods that um, she can opt into and make her feel better. And you know why her energy is not there in the first few days, or why she's all suddenly so energized and maybe flirty as well, right? So I think it's also a good episode for our male listener who can support their partner as well.
Yes, and right now you have the knowledge how to support us. Not only see the reel on Instagram that you are on the same energy level and I'm dead, I have energy, I want to be flirty, I want to be sad.
True.
Because I saw so many reels about how we have a different emotionals going, even not on the faces, but even every day you can feel so many different emotions,
Yeah,
and that's surprise for somebody sometimes. So right now you understand the real and you know how to support us. You can make
exactly.
us chocolate, dark chocolate with nuts and berries. We
We're
will
going
do
back to
that on
this.
Instagram. See, right now we need to do that so
I
our
know.
male listeners can surprise their women with uh, dark chocolate with nuts and berries.
I love that. I love that. Maybe you could also make me some. So it's a wrap today. And next
I can
week,
keep going, keep going. See, like it's so fascinating topic. So I'm happy that we share more about that. And of course, we will dive into it more in your nutrition episode soon.
yes,
But for now, just subscribe, and comment. Tell us what you think about the episode. Maybe what's your ideas about the episode, what you like the most. We will
yes,
love to read that.
yes. And as I said, next week, Magda will take us back to human design, right?
Yes, I will be talking about authorities, so how we make decisions in life or how we should make decisions in life. So I know we see that you are excited about this episode. So I'm
Yes.
happy that we next week I'm taking the lead. But for now, have a great Monday and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.